Hey, race why gasoline prices are dropping even as Middle East tensions escalate. 2 decades ago, the industrialized world would have shuddered at the image of oil tankers burning near the Persian Gulf. Oil prices would have spiked by double digits, sending prices at the gas pump soaring. Talk of inflation as of Friday morning, with photos of oil tankers burning after they were attacked near the Strait of Hormuz dominating front pages. Oil prices are far lower than they were 2 months ago. Benchmark Brent gas prices at the pump have dropped 3 cents since Monday, continuing a downward trend over the past several weeks, according to AAA. The national average, "It's totally weird," said Bill Selesky of Argus Research. The attacks are the United States is in a far different place, energy-wise, than it was just a decade ago. If this were 2000 or even 2010, those headlines out of the Persian Gulf would be the precursor to a full-blown energy crisis, said John Kilduff of Again Capital. Back then, for one thing, the country is producing twice the amount of oil it was in 2010, thanks to technology. The latest report, for example, U.S. shale oil production has reduced the U.S. demand for Persian Gulf oil from 3 million barrels a day in 2003 to 1 million barrels now. Related video: What the oil tanker attacks mean for oil, gas prices, provided by Fox Business. Production is only half the story. Consumers across that and the trade war between the United States and China have quashed oil demand to the point that even with major producers like Iran, Venezuela, Nigeria, and Libya diminished, the world has more oil than it can consume. The demand is still there, but demand growth is slowing due to the impact on key Asian and German manufacturing centers, Kilduff said. The cause is the fault. "We've just gone from shortage to glut," said Frank Verastro of the Center for Strategic and International Studies. The market has the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries has tried to reduce supply to keep oil prices high enough to support their economies, but it has largely been unsuccessful. Oil and pump prices were rising just 2 months ago, with gasoline jumping 5 cents in a single 5-day span in April. But since then, make no mistake, a hard stop to the 20 million or so barrels of oil shipped through the Strait of Hormuz, about 20% of global consumption, would have huge negative consequences to the world's economy. At that point, you would see a slowdown, price spikes and military intervention, because the world would slow if you take 20% of oil supply off the grid, Verastro said. In that event, Verastro foresees an international coalition including China and Japan interceding in the Persian Gulf region to secure the vast amounts of petroleum and natural gas that are vital to their survival. They would lose their supply of natural gas from Qatar and their oil from Saudi Arabia and from Iran, Verastro said. They can't live with
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.